Good, Jeff.
No? Hello, everyone. We will call this meeting of the Executive Committee to order. This agenda was posted in the office of the county clerk, and the date is not here. Notice was sent to the West Bend Daily News, Express News, WIBD, WMBZ Radio, WTKM Radio, My Community Now, Hartford Times Press, the Kewatskum Statesman, and the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We are all here. We'll rise for a moment of silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for all being here today. Welcome to our new member. No acknowledgement. No speech. Okay, our first action item is 2026 Resolution 6, grant application for urban non-point source and stormwater cleanliness program. Jamie will speak very briefly on it.
Sure, thank you. So my department maintains our MS4 permit, which requires us to reduce polluted stormwater runoff. So what we do and have done is budgeted to make progress towards compliance by implementing projects that are good for the water. So this project, 50% cost share was included in the capital improvement program for 27 and 2028. It's a project built between our conservationist and our chief public works officer with regards to 5 storm drain systems that outlet into the Milwaukee River, as outlined in your report, and the resolution is required as part of the grant application. So happy to answer any questions. If they're very technical about stormwater outlets, our chief public works officer is also here.
Yes. Motion by Supervisor Shadrin, second by Supervisor Kelling. May I ask, is this a competitive grant?
It is, but they have funding allocated for these types of projects. And so there is a good pot of money by which they allocate. So it is likely that we would obtain the grant.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next up is Resolution 7 to amend the capital improvement plan and transfer funds from the UWM-WC electrical update project to the master plan phase 1 Health and Human Services Building architectural work project. Motion and a second, please. Supervisor Schwab, Supervisor Kelling. We'll have a brief explanation by Mr. Schmidt.
Any questions? How's that?
Words right out of my mouth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You may recall that at the February Executive Committee, we came before them to ask if we should go out for a request for proposals for architectural services for a potential new health and human services building. We did precisely that, and you'll see in your report the breakdown of those architectural fees. We did have 6 firms as did propose to us. We did interviews with 2 firms, and if so desired, we would like to go with PRA Architects that did the elevators in this project and the current project of the remodeling in this building. So they're obviously very familiar with staff, very familiar with our building, very familiar with the site outside as well, doing the site work and parking lot construction that you may have noticed east of the building. And so what we're looking at doing is tonight, we broke that RFP up into actually 3 phases. One would be the basically some scoping and to do some layout of the building, sizing of the building, working with staff to figure out what that would look like. Obviously, concept plans for the building. And then we go into a second phase, which actually getting those details finalized, right? The first phase has sketches to know these are the offices, locations, all that kind of stuff. The second phase would take into account the actual like mechanicals of the building, all the details of the building. Then obviously the last phase is bidding it out, as well as then project management alongside with that. It is important to notice the one of the bigger things in that is that if you are approving us to go down this road, at the end of this road is a borrowing package. We're estimating $45 to $50 million of borrowing that will come to you. If you look at the attached schedule, roughly in that first quarter of 2027 as when we're looking at doing that borrowing request. Again, that is a $45 to $50 million borrowing request. You'll have another request coming to you in a tune of $984,000 if you like the plan and want to keep moving forward. So again, about $460,000 for the first phase for environmental as well as architectural. A second phase of roughly $1 million in September. And then again, the $45 to $50 million borrowing request coming forward. So we want to make sure that this committee and the board is seeing that long range plan that's coming forward. So if basically you're not looking forward to that right now, that $45 to $50 million borrowing, we certainly don't want to spend $460,000, close to $500,000, if that's not the board's intention is to later on to do that. So within your packet, also not just that schedule, so you can kind of see how things lay out for you, but you also see potential 2 locations for that structure on there, which we'll be working with the architect to limit that. The other picture was where an old diesel plume was. We might be to avoid that. And then you may recall that we'd be redeveloping, and one of the major factors of this building is to move that building and the occupants of it to the north side, get everyone on a single campus, coming in one driveway, have a building that's actually more usable and user friendly to our clients and clientele coming into that building, but then also redevelop that south side of the street. And with in your packet, I put in the analysis that Aaron and his team put together a little while ago. I put in $47.5 million to range kind of right between the 45 to 50. Again, that's just over a 60-year return of investment, basically, what all the tax money now. That's not county tax dollars, that's total tax dollars. A lot of estimates are put in there, right? This is, going out 60 years. So there are some estimate there, as well as Deb and Jamie and her team put together a plan of what that concept plan would look like, which did go to the public as well. They saw that plan that's on the south side of the road. So we've been trying to keep you up to speed on this as we've been rolling along. I did not include the whole master plan in your packet because you've seen that before, but a link to that, as well as Deb's presentation that the board did see earlier this year. So to try to keep the packet from ballooning up too large as well. So that information is out there and available. But what we'll be looking for tonight from the committee and the board then would be to approve this funding. We're very fortunate that We Energies worked very hard with us, and our electrician contractor consultant worked hard with us to get that number down from originally 1.7 million at UWMWC, now down significantly lower than that, which allows us to utilize those funds for this, plus one more agenda item. And We Energies just yesterday gave us that final number, and it did come in just under the 250,000 that's in your packet. So it's 246,000. I mean, just under it. So that number is still holding true. So with that, Mr. Chair, certainly, and if you have any questions, we certainly be able to answer them. As you can tell, this is a multifaceted thing that crosses many of us here at this desk.
Supervisor Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to just make sure that we reiterate what the commissioner just said. We have 2 new people on the board, and I think that we've kind of run into problems with this in the past, that people don't realize that moving forward, you're kind of committing yourself to making a very large loan. And I really think it's for you, maybe even especially, to reiterate that to the whole board, that this is at least 1.5 kind of starting out. I mean, by the time you add up all the beginning stuff, and then it commits us to 47 to 50 million. I don't want there to be any surprises when we come up to that final vote. Well, I didn't know we were committing that. Well, yes, you did. I mean, it was said in open session. So I really thought that was an astute point by Scott, and I really want to make sure that gets pounded home.
I absolutely agree, and I thank Scott for bringing all those details in. In a conversation earlier today with the county executive, I kind of thought back to all the things we've heard about that building, because we've heard it's a new building. It's one of our newest buildings, but we've heard about all the water running down walls when it rains and all that. I hope you can give us a few details tonight on how many times we've fixed the roof and how much more money we might stick in that building. It's not only building a new building that's better designed and getting on the right side of the road, but it's quitting throwing good money after bad, I think. And I want to make that point too.
Great.
Okay?
Yes, I certainly can get you those numbers. Yes, that you might recall, we recently replaced the roof, but has still have definitely problems with it since then. Windows and several other items we can mention at the board tonight.
Wasn't there a boiler or something that was got
There's
to do as well?
So a lot of things I'll get written down before the meeting.
Sorry to throw this at you
No,
at
Absolutely.
the ninth hour, and Mr. Shadran.
Thank you. Just real quick, along with that, I think it's important to note, as Scott brought up as well, that without this, we can't finish our next generation housing plan, which is all on the south side of the street. So it almost forces us to do this and if we want to complete that plan too. So, thank you.
Mr. Newman.
Supervisor Shadman kind of covered some of mine, but there's a bigger picture than just the building, I guess. It is the site redevelopment project that's a big part of this as well. And I assume, Scott, you're gonna bring the same message about the commitment when it goes to the county board, because I had a conversation with Chairman today about what gets approved here and what goes to county board, and Aaron was part of that too. And I'm glad to see, because that was going to be my question, but it is going to the county board.
Oh, yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, in the timeline, I tried to spell that out as well on the timeline attachment to see where it's coming through, so everybody knows. Also, that if other members want to attend the executive committee meeting in September or whatever, they have that opportunity to get on their radar as early as we can.
And you'll note also in the county board, moving money around like we are tonight requires a 2/3 majority vote, so they're heavier. Any other questions or discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll carry it on to the full board. Next resolution is Resolution 8 to amend the capital improvement plan and transfer funds from the UWM WC electrical update project to the master remodeling project. Motion by Supervisor Schwab, second by Supervisor Shadran. Also, Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You may recall this came to the last executive committee meeting as well, and was approved. But now we're bringing it forward again because it didn't have a county board meeting in April to get that through. I did make some changes to the report, some edits to make sure a little more clarification. For instance, like the card access security system, it wasn't a change order. It was just we bid that out for the very first time alone. When we actually did our original estimate several years old, we should have probably refreshed that a little bit. That's on me. We were quite a bit off on that number. We were thinking technology was coming along, but with inflationary stuff that happened, it bit us a little harder than what we would have thought. So that's quite a bit of the work, the funding that we're looking for right now, as well as the other big ticket item is the $200,000. We had about $100,000 worth of change orders in the first phase, so we're just requesting that to put $200,000 in there, $100,000 for the second phase, $100,000 for the third phase. And again, we hope not to spend that. We don't want to spend that, but at least it gives us that flexibility if something does pop up, that we're able to address it in a timely manner and keep the project on schedule. So those are kind of the bigger ticket items, and certainly can address any of those items that are within that report. And again, utilizing those funds left over from the UWM WC electrical project.
Any questions or comments? Supervisor Shadron?
Real quick. Thank you, Chairman. This came in front of the building committee already once, didn't it?
Oh, sorry, was it the building committee or was it executive? One, might have went to both already.
Because
The building committee.
Building committee. Okay, my apologies.
I went
Okay.
through and it did get approved there, but then again, because of the board change,
Right.
it didn't process through, but the building committee was all okay with it for what it's worth.
Good one.
Yes, that is correct. I apologize. It was the building committee.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions or comments? Scott, I did notice we're gonna have card readers here now
Yes,
and they're lit up, but not operational yet.
correct. Correct. Yep, they will be shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that the same cards that we already have?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your cards will work.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
there's a few people that their cards won't individually contact them to get it different, but there's only a handful of people.
Sure. Thank you.
A handful of people on the board?
No, a handful of people,
And-
and
Oh.
these cards are too old to work with these.
Okay. Any further comments or discussion? There being none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. And finally, resolution 9 are for the 2025 carryover requests. Supervisor Kelling makes the motion. Supervisor Schwab makes the second. Aaron, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is the carryover resolution. This is our normal annual carryover. The executive committee saw a version of this last time, but because we didn't have a board meeting, we're bringing this back again. So the same format, there's a resolution, there's an exhibit attached with the detail that goes behind the resolution. The goal was not to make the font as small as possible. It kind of ended up that way, so I apologize for that. I see you've got fancy iPads now, so maybe you can zoom in a little easier with the pinch, but I'm happy to answer any questions about this. But again, this is mostly, I mean, this is just our annual carryover. Most of the activity in here is around NGH and the Brownfields program. That's the vast majority of the dollars in here, but the rest of them are grants in progress, projects in progress, donation accounts that we just carry over, different things like that. So.
Any questions? Something we do every year, so there being no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That concludes our business for tonight. Our next meeting date will be Wednesday, May 20th, 2026 at 4 p.m.